standing by to go live.
It was bigger than the World Cup. It was bigger than the Olympics.
Welcome to Miss World 1970.
It was just huge.
The glamour, the glitz, the fantasy of it all.
In the 70s, women weren't allowed to dream beyond making a cupcake.
Making poor Gareth cook dinner? Well, I think that's sexist.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Tanisha Laverne Graham with BlackInAmerica.com. I am super excited about my guest today. I am excited beyond measure. Number one, because I am a former pageant girl, and I'm talking to a woman who has been iconic in this space. She has blown the trail out for so many women of color, Jennifer Hostin, and she is the subject of a brand new film called Misbehavior that stars Gugu Mbatha-Raw she is an icon, a legend. She's had a career as a broadcaster, and I'm just so excited to speak with her. Jennifer, how are you this morning?
I'm fine, Tanisha. Thank you so much for calling.
Because it's still morning here in Los Angeles. So Jennifer, you've had a quite big life, big experience, big career. Winning Miss World, 1970. There was so much, I hate using the word drama, but there really was so much drama around that pageant. And your winning. Talk a little bit about what resonated with you, what made you decide to run. I know you had other titles that you were holding as well. So when you came into the Miss World sector, like what resonated with you? What made you want to take your pageantry career to that level?
Well, Tanisha, to be honest with you, I really didn't see myself as one of these pageant people.
Wow.
It was actually serendipitous that I took part in Miss World. I was working on a flight when Miss Guyana came on the flight, and then I was asked to take a picture with her, which appeared in the local newspapers. And then from one thing to another, I ended up going back to Grenada at Easter to visit my family, because I was living on the island of Trinidad. And then I was asked to enter Miss Grenada. And I first didn't think that it was that it was something I could do because I wasn't living in Grenada. I was from Grenada. And then they encouraged me, saying that there was a money prize and that also I would be representing Grenada. And I saw it as an opportunity. And once my sister, who was, a great support to me, and I talk about her a lot in my book. I wish she was alive today to see.
Oh, wow. I have a sister and I absolutely adore my sister. She's my first friend. You have your forever best friend when you have a great sister that you can love and count on and who's rooting for you, who's rooting for you. So, you have this big film that's coming out of essentially about your life. Gugu Mbatha-Raw is playing you. Let's just talk about this whole, your book, your life becoming a movie. Like, did you ever thought in a million years that your life and your experience with Miss World, would become a book? Like, who would have thought?
Well, the truth is that in 2010, and I think this is quite the story. In 2010, the BBC invited me to go to London, England for an interview, a radio interview. Mm-hmm. The program was called The Reunion. And it involved me, the women's liberation women, Sally Alexander, Jo Robertson. And then they had Michael Aspel, who had been one of the MCs the night of the contest, and Peter Jolly from the Mecca organization. And we all told our stories. And the movie producers, Left Bank Pictures, Suzanne Mackey heard the story and she thought that would make a terrific movie. So in 2010, she contacted me and asked if they could buy the rights to portray me in this movie.
Wow.
And so from 2010, I knew that there was a germ of an idea, But it took 10 years for them to finish the script, to do the research. And in that time, I felt it was important to tell the story in my own words, because I knew the movie was coming out. And my daughter, who has known that I've done so many other things in my life, she said, "But Mom, this is going to be a dramedy. How are they going to portray you? I don't want my mother to come across as someone she's not."
Right, to be made a mockery of, I think it was your daughter's concern, right?
But at the same time, I had the opportunity in 2018, when they finally got the funding and the script had been written, they invited me back to England. So on the script, and then I was told that Gugu was most likely to be the person to play my part. And they showed me a picture of her. And I said, "But I have just seen her in a fantastic movie called Belle."
Oh, yeah.
And I was looking at Belle with a friend who said to me, "You know, she could be you."
Wow.
And this was the most...
What a magnificent story, Jennifer.
They said she could be you because they knew that they were looking for someone to play my part. And I said this when I met with Left Bank Pictures in London, England in 2018. I sat with them, and then I realized that the script writer was a woman, the producers were all women, the director was a woman, Philippa Lowthorpe, who won the first BAFTA Women's Director Prize. And then I realized, and I said to them, this is unbelievable, because this person said to me, "She could be you." And I thought, well, I didn't recognize her name at first. Of course, now I would, because I've seen Gugu in so many other movies.
Amazing.
And not only that, but she reached out to me. She reached out to me and said, "I want to meet you." And this was before she started filming. And I agreed to meet her. And she said, "But we have to meet in Grenada." And I thought, well, I wasn't really planning, because I live in Canada. I wasn't really planning to go to Grenada, but she encouraged me. And my daughter said, "Mom, you have to do this." So my daughter traveled with me, and Gugu brought her mom. And we met at this hotel in Grenada, and she describes this in the foreword for the book. She describes meeting me in Grenada, but she was such a professional, and she came across as such a sensitive, intelligent, professional woman that I felt blessed that she was the person that would play my part. She recorded me while we sat at the beach with our bathing suits on. Yes, and it was wonderful. And so much so, I said to her, she said, "But tell me something. Have you got the dress or the bathing suit?" And I said, "I have the dress." And she said, "No." And I said, "Yes, I have it well preserved." And so she said, "Would you lend it to them if they asked you?" And I said, "Yes." And within weeks of us leaving Grenada, I heard from the director, Philippa, who asked if they could borrow the dress. And I sent my dress, and Gugu wore my dress, my actual dress, and it did not need to be altered.
Oh my goodness.
She sent me an email. She sent me a text to say, "It fits, it fits." And she was so excited. And so she wore my dress. It didn't come out. There weren't too many scenes with it. But the cover, the poster of the movie and the cover of my book is the same, because the producers adopted the book to promote each other. And they felt my story fit so well with the book, with the movie.
It's
that
amazing. It's
yes.
amazing. It's a remarkable story. like I said, when I learned that I would have the opportunity to get a chance to speak with you today, I was just like, oh my God, yes, because I'm a former pageant girl. You know, this
But
pageant,
Tanisha,
yes?
Tanisha, just to add a little something about the dress. In the book, I describe how my dress was stolen. Was stolen the night that I won. After I won the contest, I won and I was crowned in my bathing suit, which today is unusual. But then I went back to my dressing room to find my dress to attend the ball, only to discover that someone had stolen my dress. I describe this in the book and how I had to wait and someone had to lend me a dress to make my appearance at the ball. So this dress, which now has been returned to me in safekeeping, has quite a history of its own.
I understand. I understand. You know, the dresses that I wear when I cover the red carpets for the Oscars and the Golden Globes and the Tony Awards, you know, they have sentimental meaning for me, so I can understand, you know, and I'm just so happy that you were able to get the dress back. You know, in 2019, we had this big watershed moment where we have 5 women of color, 5 Black women who now hold 5 major pageant crown titles, you know, and that is a part of your legacy. You know, we have generations of women who have come behind you from the globe over, you know, given the courage and the energy and your fire to participate in pageants. You know, what are your thoughts about that? You know, seeing Black women today, women of color, 5 Black women are now major crown holders in 5 major pageants. How does that make you feel, Jennifer?
Well, it's of course it's interesting. It's interesting, and I am so pleased for them. But the fact that we're still commenting on it tells me that we still have a long way to go. And one of the things that I think is fantastic and important is inclusion is powerful. But it's also it's always important what you do with the opportunity. And I did have the pleasure of meeting the current Miss Universe, who convinced me that she was the right person at the right time for her success. And I'm also happy, of course, that the current Miss World is from my original part of the world, the Caribbean. She's originally from Jamaica.
Wow.
So I think that having grown up in a multicultural community and society where I never felt like a minority, growing up in the Caribbean is quite special. And it gives you, and the community and the upbringing that I had was such a blessing to me, Tanisha, that I think it gave me a sense of self that I would love to see more women of color have.
Yeah.
We have to care about ourselves. We have to love ourselves. And we have to do as much as we can when we can. So we have an opportunity, all these women of color that have achieved what they have, and hopefully they will go on to do many things, because having won Miss World was a great opportunity and certainly opened doors for me. I think at that stage in my life it helped to shape me, but it didn't define me. I defined myself. This is why writing my book was important, because it shows that my life did not end at the winning of Miss World. I went on to do many other things, as we all can, as we all should.
Right.
You know, I was 23, and now I'm not going to tell you how much I am, but you can work it out.
You're timeless beauty, Jennifer. You are timeless. You know, that is what you are. Would you write another book? Would you write another book, Jennifer?
if I had something to write about, for sure, yes.
Yeah.
But I am delighted that 50 years later, this story is being told, and that it gives us a chance, still gives me a platform to say that while we have achieved many things, as we can see, we still have a long way to
Long
go
way to go.
in
A
terms
long
of
way to go.
upward mobility and in terms of all the social issues that are important to all women. So it makes me very proud, and it makes me also feel that I should say it is good for women to work together of all
Yeah.
races, because only by working together and recognizing the importance of race and gender across all the issues that affect us all will we really have achieved what we want to achieve for each person. And that is the fulfillment and opportunities that we all deserve.
You know, Jennifer, I want to ask you, what do you want to say to Black men and women here in the United States regarding the upcoming presidential election? You know, the United States is it's in a troubled situation with this current administration. You know, we have Kamala Harris, who could be the first woman vice president. And she is still receiving, you know, a lot of pushback, a lot of resistance. And we can't afford that right now. So, you know, do you have any words of encouragement from Black men and women here in the United States when it comes to voting in this upcoming presidential election?
Well, I think one of the things I think women bring to the table is a sense of values. The values that we share across culture, the values of the things we want our children to exemplify. I think that women need to step forward and to show that we have what it takes. We know the choices. You know, innately, we know what is important for us. And we know that a country as important as the United States needs to show the world really that they know where their place is today. Not taking a backward step, but taking the forward steps that we all expect you to take. You know, the leadership steps, and not regressing as we see you trying or attempting, some people attempting to do. So I wish you well, and I'm sure that at the end of the day, Tanisha, that America and Americans will make the right choice. The choice is one of values as opposed to those that have no values whatsoever.
I so appreciate your commentary there. It's so necessary. So many women look to you, you know, across the globe. So many women look to you. And after this film comes out, more women are going to be looking to you even more, and just understanding the breadth of your contributions to the culture. You know, when it comes to this film, you know, my final question to you, what do you want young women to walk away with who, you know, do have interest in joining pageants, but maybe interested in joining pageants for all of the wrong reasons? You know, let's talk about the right reasons, because as I said, I myself am a pageant girl. I pulled out one of my sashes here. I am a former Miss Cheyney University of Pennsylvania. Cheyney University is the oldest historical Black college. The late Ed Bradley, who is a journalist, presenter like ourselves, he hosted a show called 60 Minutes for years here in the United States. Yeah, he was an alumna of Cheyney University of Pennsylvania, and I went on to win Miss Black Pennsylvania. I went on to participate in Miss Black USA, and you know, a lot of women like myself, I wanted to participate for scholarship opportunities and to see the world and to expand my horizon. And then other women, they want to run for totally different reasons. So, you know, once this film comes out, you know, it's going to, I think, pique more interest for women to once again, participate in pageantry. But, I really want you to impress upon, the benefits of participating in pageantry.
Well, Tanisha, I'm a great one in believing in goals. I think that it's never too early to have a goal. I've always thought of doing something more than myself. I've always thought that it was possible to do something where I could make the world a better place. I know that sounds like pie in the sky, if you like, but I think we need to set high goals for ourselves, whatever they are, and work towards them. Be determined, be persistent, and do the best, and be the best you can be. And I think the world today, the opportunities are so much more expanded than they were in 1970. The world is your oyster. I think women need more opportunities, and they need to take advantage of those opportunities when they come up. I see pageants as just one of the many opportunities we have, but education opens doors. And I have gone on to show that while I was shaped by this contest in some degree, I can define myself. We can all define ourselves. So we don't need to be defined by any one success or even one failure. We can always redefine ourselves. And that includes failures, because we learn more actually from our failures than our successes.
You fell forward.
Exactly.
Forward.
And it builds resilience, which is one of the most important things for us to have, to be resilient. And so I think whatever the opportunities are, but I really fall back on education and just being the best we can be, and also having a sense of self. And that means that'll help us decide what choices to make, because certain choices will not further our goals.
Yeah. Jennifer, this was such a treat for me. It was a pleasure to sit and chat with you this afternoon. I'm so excited about the film. Continue blessings, and thank you so much for being a guest on Black in America. That's our show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure to talk with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Madame. Bye-bye now.
Whoever you agree with or whoever you sympathise with, I think it will make you question maybe what you think.
We have to keep making sure that we pose those questions, make choices for ourselves.
When people watch this film, I want them to go away feeling really inspired. A society which embraces women and their talents is a good society for everybody. It's a salutary reminder of where we've come from and how far we have to go.